Has any other media organization asked?
I'm going to call the police.
Okay, we're in public, so I'm allowed to ask you these questions.
No, you're not.
I'm not allowed to ask you questions.
Not on a sidewalk when I've told you I'm not talking to you. This is harassment.
It's not harassment.
This is
You're a public
harassment.
figure and a communist
This
who
is
wants to
harassment.
represent Albertans. Well, I just got a report that Anne McGrath is door knocking in this constituency, and I was in the area, so I'm going to pop by and ask Anne McGrath, the communist candidate for the NDP here in Calgary Varsity, if she regrets being a communist. Let's go see if we can find her. Hi, Anne. Would you mind if I asked you a quick question?
Who are you?
My name's Kian. I'm with the Rebel.
Oh no, I'm not talking to the rebel.
I'm wondering if you can tell me,
I'm not talking to
do you regret running as a communist?
I'm not talking to the rebel.
So you don't regret running as a communist?
I'm not talking to the rebel.
Can you tell me why you ran as a
I'm
communist?
not talking to the rebel.
Do you think that the residents
not
of Calgary
talking to the
Varsity know that you're a communist?
I'm not talking to the rebel.
Do you think it should be treasonous to run as a communist during the Cold War?
I think that you should be registered as a third party because you're not an actual media outlet. So I'm not talking to you.
So you don't want to tell the residents of Calgary Varsity why you ran as a communist
I'm
candidate?
not talking to the rebel. The rebel
you-
is not a media organization.
Okay,
And
well,
I'm
I
not-
think that communism isn't a reasonable ideology to run under. Do you think that capitalists should all burn
Please
still?
go away. Please go away.
Do you think that capitalists should all burn?
Please go away.
I just want to know the
Go
answer. It's
away.
simple questions.
Go
Do you think that
away.
the media has given you reasonable scrutiny for your
Go
past?
away. Go away. I'm not talking to the rebel.
Has any other media organization
I'm going to
asked?
call the police.
Okay, we're in public, so I'm allowed to ask you these
No,
questions.
you're not.
I'm not allowed to ask you questions.
Not on a sidewalk when I've told you I'm not talking to you. This is harassment.
It's not harassment.
This is
You're a public
harassment.
figure and a communist
This
who
is
wants to
harassment.
represent Albertans.
This is harassment.
It's not harassment. It's reasonable questions. I just want to know why you're a communist.
This house, so why don't we?
No, I'm just going to call the police.
You're calling the police because I'm asking you why you're a
Because
communist.
you're harassing me on the sidewalk.
You can go to your car, you can leave.
Calgary. Police, please.
Are you guys comfortable volunteering for a communist? Is Rachel Notley happy that you are a communist? Do you know how many people communism has killed?
Can you hear him? He's got a baseball cap, dark sunglasses, brown leather coat, jeans. He's carrying a microphone and a video camera. And he is...
I'm going to stay here. There's no threat to you. There's no threat to you at all. I'm standing here on this sidewalk. It's a public. This is a public space. You are a public figure. You're a public figure, and you can leave if you like. I'm not planning on following you. I just want some answers. I think that it's reasonable for the media to ask you, since the CBC has refused to actually publish the fact that you are a communist who ran during the Cold War. If you would like to leave, you can. It's totally within your rights. I just want to know if you regret being a communist and if Rachel Notley has forgiven you for that. She's telling the police I'm white.
He's about, they asked me.
I'm like
He's
5'10".
about, yeah, 5'10", he says.
Yeah, I'm 5'10". Do you like working for a communist yourself?
We don't talk to the rebel.
Okay, well you can leave if you like.
I'm knocking on doors in this area.
Then go keep knocking doors. I'm not going to follow you. I just want to know. This is my car. I have not left this vicinity. I think I'm just asking reasonable questions. Did the police tell you this is a public sidewalk? I think that the police are telling her it's a public sidewalk.
Weapons, actually.
I certainly don't have any weapons.
I don't see any. He says he doesn't have any.
Do I have any weapons? What kind of...
Except for the fact that he's following me and refusing to stop talking to me. Yes. I can give you his name. It's what's your name again?
I work for the Rebel. My name's Kian Bexty.
Kian Bexty is his name, and he works for the Rebel.
Hey guys, how are you? Do you live in Calgary Varsity? Oh, bummer. This is the NDP candidate here. She's a communist. Would you ever vote for a communist? Do you believe that the NDP should be running communist candidates?
No.
I think that that's a reasonable response. But she's a communist, so that's what it is. Communism has killed over 100 million people in our world. And she, during the Cold War, ran for the Communist Party of Canada and participated in a pig roast calling capitalists to burn. So, I think that it's reasonable questions that I'm asking, and you can tell that she's never had media ask her any hard or difficult questions because she's calling the police on me. Can you believe this? This is the NDP here in Alberta. We're going to wait for the police and see what they have to say. Anne, can you tell me, are the police coming? I'd like to report a communist. Hey there.
Are you Kieran?
I'm Kian.
Kian, sorry. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you? My hands are a little bit cold.
That's all right. So,
Hey.
we got a call
Yeah.
from Anne McGrath.
Yeah.
We got her side of the story, just trying to get your side of the story.
Yeah. So I got in my car, I came onto the sidewalk, it's all on tape, and I started asking her questions. She was actually a communist candidate back in the 1900s during the Cold War, and I thought that I could ask her some questions about her candidacy. She's running in the election, as you know. And then she said I was harassing her and called you. It was an interaction that was less than 5 minutes, I would imagine. I didn't follow her anywhere. I didn't leave this place. So is it a crime to ask politicians questions?
Oh, no, we just said we come talk to you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Right? No,
I appreciate
no.
you guys following up.
Based on even the information that she's told us, there's nothing criminal. I mean, we've got talk to her, talk to you, right? We're just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah,
today.
for
That's
sure.
all. I mean, obviously, if you are following her, right, it could potentially be construed as harassment. Potentially. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not
Understood.
charging you, I'm not arresting you, anything like that today, right? Obviously, if somebody asks you to leave their property and stuff like that, you have to comply and do that. Other than that, there's nothing else. But we just said we'd come talk to you.
Understood.
You were obviously down here when we drove over and they were down there, so that's totally fine. So,
Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry for wasting your time. Honestly, I think you guys have better things to be doing than following journalists around who ask politicians some tough questions.
totally fine. No, like I said, we said we'd come talk to you. I mean, I understand. Are you which organization?
I'm
you
with the Rebel.
Rebel. Obviously, they're right wing. They're left wing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can ask, but just be respectful and professional to you. Right? If they ask you to leave, then just leave. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
perfect.
it.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Take care. So, you live in Calgary Varsity. Can you tell me, are you supporting Anne McGrath?
I don't know Anne McGrath.
Anne McGrath is the NDP candidate in the area, but she also ran for the Communist Party of Canada in the 1900s during the Cold War, actually. She ran for the communists. So I'm wondering if you would vote for a communist, if you knew. I mean, lots of people didn't know.
I think through ignorance I may have voted for her, but that does kind of sway my choice.
Have you ever had the cops called on you by a communist? I didn't think I ever would in my lifetime, but this is the NDP's Alberta. It's the same Alberta that Cheryl Oates, one of the officers in Rachel Notley's premier's office, called the sheriffs on my colleague Sheila Gunn Reid. We know how the NDP treat journalists in this province, and I'm terrified to see this woman, Anne McGrath, get elected. I can't believe what she just did. She called the police on me, the secret police. I guess it's typical for those USSR folk to just call the police on journalists that they disagree with. And maybe I understand a little bit. Anne McGrath has never had a serious question asked to her critically, ever. The CBC and every single mainstream media outlet that has done a profile on her has neglected to mention that she ran for the Communist Party of Canada back in the 1900s sometime during the Cold War. I couldn't believe it. I think that that's egregious that nobody has bothered to mention it, but we understand that the mainstream media is in the pockets of the NDP. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our coverage. I hope you enjoyed the questions I asked Anne McGrath. I don't think many news organizations have to go through the trouble of having the police called on them simply for asking questions. But at the Rebel, that seems like it's becoming a reoccurring theme.